evening, and welcome back to Shantae, Ritual of the Night.
How's it going tonight? Ritual of the Night.
At least for a little bit, until this armor is not as good as my default shit.
Right?
Oh, I think where we left off last time, I only had one of these little guys, and I died at the entranceway. So I went back and I got myself a new great axe with that 8-bit coin.
Sweet.
I leveled up. Well, I leveled up incidentally, but really I just wanted to get more of these guys. So I went back to the galleon.
I can see that. She's
a lot
got
more fun when there's
sperm
5 instead of 1.
Yep.
Have you learned anything?
Hey, what's up, Sparks?
Here's what I've turned up.
Sparks Retorno.
Good work.
Oh yeah, this lady.
Yeah, I didn't actually do anything.
The only thing interesting about me is my dead husband.
Oh, God. Just like, I don't know, most field mail NPCs in games back in the day.
Yeah. Well,
I shouldn't say that.
Like
I mean,
4 years ago.
I have something new to offer you.
Let's see.
What are you
Do I actually need anything? Yeah, you know what? Let's buy some potions.
Always buy some potions.
Is this thank you?
You got a decent amount of gold there.
Is this thank you?
How's your week going, bud?
Not too bad. I was supposed to be working from like 6:30 to 7 today, but they called me off yesterday. So it's all right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, always lovely.
I had a migraine for a good portion of the day that rendered me pretty well useless, and so I was thinking about just like not coming into work, but I had like 4 hospital visits to go on. I just sucked it up.
That's yeah. Sometimes it's what you got to do.
You know, I don't get them. Like, I don't get what I would consider migraines, and I probably use the term migraine incorrectly. But essentially, just like nasty headaches, and I don't get them very often. Like to the point where like I don't want to work or can't distract myself from them. But man, today was not a great one.
What do you like? Where do you feel it?
Usually around the eyes. Well, like when I get them so that they actually bother me, it's always like a kind of a vice grip around like my temples and eyes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. It sucks when it's like sometimes I get like these sharp pains behind my eyes, but I know like a cluster headache that like stays there. For me, it's like once and gone, like immediately.
It's good to see.
Yeah, no, this one's just like constant aching pressure, and right now it's not too bad compared to earlier, but still glad that you're the one gaming this evening.
Yeah, with good old Bloodstained, but you know, not a terribly like loud or crazy game for the most part. Except for like the enemy cries, which some of them can be like, "I'm dead." Oh,
how could I lose to
you?
I'm so glad we played that game.
That is such a good game. Or wait, is this? I do want the bunny scarf. What do I need? Hemp
Bunny
and lily
scarf.
tail. Okay, the lily tail will be a little
we
later.
Bunny Simulator for Sim Summer.
I'm
what's
gonna
lily
prioritize
tail?
luck.
What,
a lily tail?
Go
There's
back
a
there real
Lilith.
quick. Okay, I'm not wrong, right? That goes in the butthole, yes?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean, like, there's nowhere else that could be
the
plugged
spade
in.
portion of it definitely is the end of it. And so that other end, yeah. It doesn't look like it was just ripped off flesh. It definitely looks like it was some kind of plug.
That was pulled from something.
God. Yeah, well, that'll be a little bit later, but I'm trying to prioritize luck over pretty much anything else.
Here, equip this. It'll make you stronger. Are you sure? Trust me.
I'll go with this.
Okay. Let me just turn around here. I did.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
I guess the first time I can't skip that animation. Okay.
I'll go with this.
All right, so Max, instant reaction. Who's your pick for vice president?
Great.
Vice president. Let's see. Well, I mean, if it is Kamala, which it'll probably be Kamala as far as the nominee.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's. The thing that I was most afraid about with Biden dropping out would be the power vacuum, because Democrats don't lose the actual presidential election. Democrats lose the primary.
Yeah.
Like we fuck ourselves year in, year out by having these stupid primaries that go on way too long, and we,
kind of eviscerate
people
each
don't
other
show up in
during
November
them.
because they're still butthurt because their candidate didn't get picked. And so
Yeah, that's definitely a problem on the left. That's kind of a lot worse on the left.
Even more so than on the right. I mean, don't get me wrong, the right is a fucking mess, but at the very least, like, I'm not even sure if I'll give them credit, because it's more like blind religious obedience. They fall in line and they like instantly deify whoever their nominee is.
Yeah.
The Democrats will stay bitterly divided until it's too late.
Yeah, which sucks, because if they were united, I was kind of mentioning this the other day, but I feel like even though Trump got record numbers, like in the 2020 election, Biden just got recorder numbers.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Yep.
I feel like on the right, they're like getting close to their ceiling of like presumptive voters, because they're usually pretty motivated anyway, a lot more so than on the left. So
yeah,
it's a long story. I'm hoping, perhaps naively, that it's no matter how energized they get, they can't just make more numbers. I mean, well,
right.
Unless they like call up some like roll call from like dead voters or something.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, or the much more realistic thing is that Trump and his posse are planning on doing precisely what they've been accusing Biden and his team of doing the whole time, which is trying to rig and steal the election. Which don't get me wrong,
already
they absolutely
did
will.
That. Yeah, they already did that in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's kind of nice though about this year is that at the very least we know there probably won't be tampering with our mail-in ballots, because Trump has no power to dismantle the postal service again.
Yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
I do.
4 years ago, that was actually really, beyond even the electoral reasons that it was shitty. It was just a crappy time because he gutted the fucking post office.
Yeah. So
and during one of the busiest times of the year for the post office. So.
And what was it, like these huge sorters that the postmaster just decided, I'm going to take
those
these
huge
offline.
Sorters. Yep. So people weren't getting Christmas cards and yeah. But it's that liberal war on Christmas. Yeah. Oh yeah, Spark says, I just love the idea of them losing so much money on going against Biden. Yeah, the primary was all dedicated to trashing Biden, and he's not even.
Oh, that's funny.
Don't get me wrong, I actually really do like Biden, and but I understand why he needed to step down. I still have my concerns that this could shoot us in the foot. But I'm trying to remain optimistic. Yeah.
And what most potential viewers don't know is we talked about this a lot the other day. And, there's like definite, like, okay, this might be good, but there's definite, like, potential problems when it comes to just the chaos of it all, especially.
Yeah. And to be fair, most of them come from within the Democratic Party, like we've been talking about.
For sure. I think donors is one thing, whatever. Like, some donors will be like, oh, what the heck? This is going to be, I didn't ask for this craziness, But
right.
I think, for the most part, if it is Kamala, they'll fall in line.
I do think so. I think that's the one way that we can kind of retain some organization and not fall apart.
Yeah. And if it is Kamala, which I'm thinking it will be, like, yes, you're not going to get some of the most diehard, like, anarchists, like progressives, and just young people in general. Yeah, right. But at the same time, you're going to get a lot more young people than you were before, especially like post debate, when people were like, "Oh shit, Biden's like fucking, I don't know, has dementia or something." Like,
yeah.
So yeah, even with Kamala, you're still going to get some of the young votes, but even in general, an energized young base versus not.
And I mean, there is the very real excitement of her being, potentially our first female president, which is, I mean, let's not lose sight of the historicity of that. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Which is, it's crazy because I forget about that because I'm like, we had Hillary. Oh,
yeah,
no, we didn't.
We threw away Hillary is what we did.
Somehow it's like, ugh. That was what I thought was a sure thing. I think in my brain is still very much like,
I know.
yeah, that
Isn't
totally
it
happens.
weird how like 2016 was just kind of this point where reality sort of deviated?
Yeah,
You know,
basically.
I really, weirdly enough, I still kind of feel like that. Like, for the first 29 years of your and my lives, you know, we were on a pretty... I mean, there were some obvious, like, 9/11 and things like that, where the world wasn't as secure as we thought it was when we were children. But we kind of seemed to all be in agreement that we were going on a path towards, you know, general progress. And then 2016 hit, and it's like, nah, never mind, fuck all that. But
yeah, 9/11 was probably the first big thing that was like, oh, this is like a very disruptive. Maybe we're not on the path to peace. Maybe things aren't, you know, going to be as, I don't know. Like, I say progressive a lot, but you think about like in the 50s, people were like, oh yeah, by the year 2000, it's going to be like a
flying cars,
24-hour work week, like it's going to be nuts. And in the 90s, it was kind of like
on, like,
we're on our way.
Child labor laws anymore.
I know.
I mean, mostly
child labor,
99%
marriage,
conservatives.
like,
who, and you know, that's kind of the weird thing is that within the last decade, I really feel like Republicans went from being the party of small government and minimum government intrusion to maximum government intrusion and just like not anarchy, because I mean anarchy has its own distinct flavor, but like I don't know, reversion for lack of a better word, like we have to go back to not even like the 1950s anymore,
conservative,
but like, you know, slave labor plantation days, like that seems to be what they're aiming for.
I want to say that's like, it's not conservatism in general, but it's like if you were to put things on a binary, like progressive versus conservative, it is like going back to, like, think of like what third world countries are like, you know, when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to child labor, that's like more on the conservative bend of things.
Yeah, right. Like Trump with North Korea. I'm like, he looks at what Kim Jong has going on over there, and he thinks, wow, what a pretty sweet deal. Everyone just has to respect him or he can kill him on the spot.
Right?
Whereas like a normal, rational human being looks at that and goes like, wow, what a travesty of humanity and justice. Trump's like, we can really put this to use. You know, I mean, that's
like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
no one would be able to defy me.
That a very real contender for presidency not only has the desire, but now, thanks to the Supreme Court, the means to enact shit like that.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think most of his voter base is not aware of that. Like, they don't want that, but they're just being bamboozled.
Well,
but then some of them are like, yeah,
dictator.
I don't know, like, as far as like if they're worried, or it's something where they're like, oh, he's gonna do that, but only to people who like
really
people on the left.
Yep.
And and
it's that video that I sent you earlier, right? There's like this whole Christo fascist bent where they're like, oh no, he's only gonna make, you know, the brown Islamic people die in the streets. Like those are the only ones he's going after.
Yeah, which again,
completely failing to see that that's a fucking problem for everybody.
Any trampling of human rights is all human rights. Like, and first of all, like, be a fucking human being and realize that just like your brothers and sisters who are being trampled on, like, that's not okay. But then also know, like, you're next.
Yep,
like,
totally.
That's always how it
and
goes.
The reason,
unless
that's
you're
kind of
the person
the
in
reason
power.
I sent you that video is that for a lot of these folks,
bloodbath.
it really is like, they don't. They're so religiously motivated in their politics that they don't see the opposition as fellow human beings anymore.
Yeah, that's how it. And with genocide too, like you look at what's going on in Palestine. Ooh, 500 gold. That's one of the markers of what? Oh, I was trying to slide, and then that happened. It's like, okay.
Though I gotta say, China getting involved with Palestine is concerning.
Yeah. They're getting involved with anything around there. I mean,
it's
the whole
kind of like
Russia,
they're
Ukraine.
swooping in and, you know, prepping themselves a a group of people willing to die for them, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Not kind of creepy. It's actually a really big fucking national security problem. But
Now you're talking about China?
yeah, so
For
China
people?
today. I didn't read the whole story yet, so I don't have all the facts. But they negotiated some kind of, I don't know, peace treaty among like some militant groups in
Don't I deserve it?
um.
Like a father to me.
in Palestine. I forget who they were, but in any case, like so China is kind of stepping in as the peacekeepers for Palestine, which is a big fucking problem because China has, you know, its own huge glaring red flag issues.
Yeah.
Alfred, how are you still
And if they have Palestine's loyalty, then they can call in that favor later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You can answer my question first.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of big fucking concerns in our
There's-
world, but
there
like
are.
I'm kind of short-sighted right now because all I really want out of this year is just us kind of putting Trump away for good, if we can
Yeah.
manage that.
Yeah.
Like,
That-
don't get me
that
wrong, I
really
know the
does need to be
problem
the
of
focus.
Trumpism is going to outlive him, but
Yeah.
it'll be a pretty big moral victory.
For China, I feel like I don't know. There's obviously like human rights issues going
Yeah.
on there. Not like anything on the scale of North Korea or anywhere, but when it comes to the developed world, yeah. And it's
Oh, glad you're
I don't
staying,
know.
Sparks.
Like I know there's like aspects of fascism when it comes to like the control of media, the control of what you can search, things like that.
Yeah.
And that's something that needs to be addressed. And you know, they're also doing a lot of good when it comes to tech and it comes to like innovating things.
Oh yeah, I
And
agree.
I
with
think
that
just from-
wholeheartedly, but their government is a big fucking issue.
Yeah, when it comes to human rights, it's like, and I don't want to say like put that under the table or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
not on the scale of like North Korea, but it is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
absolutely.
like playing Civilization or something, and it's like China has their research like cranked up to 60 or something.
Uh-huh.
Like when a lot of the even the rest of the developed world
Yeah.
doesn't.
It's just that sometimes their researchers get disappeared when they when they say the
Yeah.
wrong thing about the government.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They haven't really moved on so much from like the Mao days.
Alfred
Yeah.
was trying to restore the alchemy guild.
But anyway,
But we cannot let him lay hands on the
yeah,
leader
Trump.
of-
Yeah, yeah. So
It's-
back to my original question then. Who do you think Kamala is going to go with for her VP?
Who do I think? You know what? I have no idea. No idea who I think. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. You know, I'm sure there's like in the
Considering
pundit
the
sphere,
situation
they have some ideas, but I would love Gavin Newsom. I think that would be great. I don't know. I think he's definitely trying to like present himself to like be a candidate. You were mentioning what, Buttigieg, right?
Yeah, I think
Like,
it should be Buttigieg.
Focus on Djibouti.
Yeah, I can never say his name right.
Before Alfred does.
Booty Tooch.
But yeah, like I mean, there's nothing bad about Buttigieg for real.
No,
like,
and that's what I like about him. He's just like a big old wet blanket. But he can be a real attack dog when it comes to conservative media, which I like.
I mean, when he was candidate Buttigieg in what 2020,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he definitely had some like own the conservative moments.
Yeah, he's really sharp, which I like.
and usually it has something to do with like I don't know if what am I trying to say? If people go after the low-hanging fruit, and it's like, well, he's gay, you know, without saying that,
Yeah, right.
it's just like, okay, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like he's
I
weak on
I
this.
think he's
or-
not only prepared for that landmine, he probably has a million different ways to
Oh,
counter
he
it.
does. Yeah.
And that's
He
because he's
definitely
probably
does.
been doing it for his whole adult life. Let's be
Yeah.
real. But that's all besides the point. What's most attractive to me about him, besides the fact that he could absolutely wreck almost all conservatives in a principled debate, when it comes time to actually do the job, he reminds me a lot of Obama in that, you know, once you get past like the, you know, it's the first black president and he's a historic pick and everything like that, he's just like a very solid there's no surprises to him, politician.
Yeah.
And I think after, I mean, Christ, this is year 8 now of being inundated with Trump.
Yeah.
That is really refreshing. And honestly,
it's
that's what I
attractive.
liked about Biden 4 years ago. But,
Yeah.
I can absolutely see that his age has caught up with him, and he's
Yeah.
definitely retirement age.
And it's still the era of Trump, where Trump was like, I don't know, he was definitely in the zeitgeist of things. Like,
Yeah.
I think after this election, he's too old to ever run again.
I think
don't
in his
he's-
mind, he's going to live to be 150. Like, I think that's how Trump is operating right now.
I can't. I mean, he's already at a point where
I don't think we're ever going to stop hearing from him until he's in a coffin.
Yeah, he'll be tweeting.
And maybe
until
even
his
a
death
little bit
day.
after that. He'll probably have some pre-recorded like Order 66 shit.
Yeah, some tweets that I don't know if you could like. What do you call it? Man, my words tonight. I can't think of anything. If you can delay them or something, he'll have tweets for years to come.
Yeah, right. Like what ones? Of course, I also doubt that he's smart enough to do that on his own. But maybe like Don Jr. helped him out with it or something. Hey, Dad, wouldn't it be crazy if, like, in the year 2050, you were sending messages about the libtards? Yeah, it'd be funny. Let's
God.
do it.
Let's do it. Wow.
Also, I love that, I don't watch too much of the RNC, except for, I sent you that post about that pastor who really pissed me off.
Yeah.
But then the other one, did you see that Don Jr. followed in his dad's footsteps by calling his own daughter sexy?
Oh no!
His
I didn't hear about
17-year-old daughter, mind you.
Ugh.
They
Also-
basically had her get up there and, deliver kind of like the most milquetoast. It was meant to be like humanizing towards Trump. It was just like, oh, he's just my sweet grandpa and this is what I love about him. That's what it was supposed to be. But Don Jr. introduced her by calling her sexy.
Why?
Because that's how their
Also,
family fucking is. They're
it's just-
fucking creeps.
They are
if you
creeps.
put everything else aside politically, they're just creepy people. Oh God,
Also-
yuck. That's right, Sparks.
And how am I hearing about this for the first time from you? Like, this shit does
I think her
not
name is
get the
Kai.
coverage.
Kai Trump or something like that. Just look it up. It was all over the things, the socials.
Ugh. I'm sure it's on the socials. It's just like, I don't know, mainstream. I have my own problems with mainstream media where they don't cover this kind of shit.
Well, actually, like I said, right now all of my socials are turned off, so I'm only seeing like a couple of big headline news channels on my Apple feed, and so it was big enough to make that, or it was
Okay,
creepy
that's
enough
good.
to make that.
God, that's so creepy.
Oh, it is like one.
Oh,
How as a
I thought I
father
died.
do you have those thoughts? And then secondly, how do you arrive at a point in your life where you think they're okay to vocalize?
yeah.
Like I would think,
And how
I would
does
think
she-
for a normal father who finds himself having those kind of impulses towards his own dear daughter, like it would be a huge source of shame and self-disgust, right? Like what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? But no, for the Trumps, it's like,
No.
yeah, I'm gonna get on TV and
I'm gonna
talk about my daughter's body.
Jesus Christ.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, like who are these people? And they're still like I showed you with the Christian shit. They're still calling them like God's candidates and everything. Like these are the moral people. These are the ones that are going to save the country. Really?
I have to think
How?
they just don't know about these things. Like they,
but they're
or
saying
they,
them in front of millions of them.
Oh yeah, it's
I doubt I would be able to push it aside.
most people
which brings
that
up
I
the
know
real problem.
don't watch like the RNC and things like that. They just hear the highlights,
Yeah,
and that's
maybe.
usually not going to be one of the highlights. And then the other people, they forget about it. It's that cognitive dissonance. That's
Yeah, they
just
just
like,
put it
oh,
away.
he didn't
Yep.
mean. You're just taking that out of context. It was. Did you really think that he has those kind of thoughts about his daughter? Because that's just something about you. I think
Yeah, you're sick
And
to
it's
even
like,
think that. Yeah.
yeah, wow.
Well, but I think it identifies an even bigger issue, which is that a lot of these people who are calling themselves, Christian voters, they really aren't invested in Christianity, the faith. They're invested in Christianity, the political tool. I mean,
it's
which is what the modern
Christo-fascist
evangelical movement
aspect.
is.
Morgenstern.
Hey, Morgenstern.
That's probably not.
Oh, I was hoping it was a book.
I'm thinking of like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, so the biggest issue that I have with this whole religious movement surrounding Trump, this, besides the obvious, it's just that really, like, the people that are presenting themselves on the national stage as Christian really have nothing to do with the actual, Abrahamic faith. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not Christianity as it's taught in, well, I shouldn't say every church, because you clearly, that guy that I sent you the other week shows you that there are people in the church who buy into Trump's shtick whole hog.
Oh yeah.
But in Orthodox churches, in churches that are teaching rightly according to the Bible, that message is not fundamentally compatible with what Trump is doing. And so they've kept all of the window dressing, but have completely devoided it of anything even remotely resembling the teachings of Jesus Christ. I mean,
oh yeah.
And you would think that would be comforting, except it keeps getting perpetuated and more people are buying into it. So I'm just, every time they get on camera and do this shit, I just get more and more angry.
Yeah. I have to imagine, for you especially, just seeing that and knowing everything you know,
Nice.
and just how religion can be so helpful and give hope to people, and just the teachings of, like, Jesus especially, where it's just they're going against all of that shit.
Yeah.
And
that's what's so frustrating is that, well, and every single time Trump compares himself to Christ, I just want one conservative person to, like, raise their hand and be even a little bit upset.
Yeah. And that was the thing you sent me today, where it's just like that Christo-fascist or Christian nationalist really is for for most people that's kind of how they're doing it without realizing it. Maybe is it's like, we're a Christian nation and this is a Christian values, and it's like, well, there are some Christian values. We're not a Christian nation as far as how we were founded, but as far as, like, certain aspects, like, sure, you could say those are Christian values.
Yeah, but you could also say that there are the values of any number of world religions who don't want to kill everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And so they never give it the critical thought that is necessary.
No.
And for a lot of, and I'll just say it, particularly older people, it's comforting to them that, we could have a world where everybody thinks and believes just like they do. And, not even remotely grasping why that would be such a bad fucking idea.
But also, so many of those people, older people, unfortunately, just their temperament is not great anymore. When you get to a certain age,
and honestly, like, looking back at our childhoods, never really was. It's just we didn't know any better.
You didn't know any better, yeah.
Sparks, I do have a strong preference for belief systems that don't want to kill people. Yeah, those are always the best.
These damn bats. Okay, sorry, I'm just going back because I think I have some things. I've avenged certain people, so I'll hopefully get some equipment and stuff.
I've avenged certain people. I won't say who, but they're
I killed those murderers dead. I don't know, when I was talking to that lady...
instantly dying.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Shit.
Ow, what the ghost? What do you call it? Yeah, like, all of her family. It's just like, avenge my cousin, avenge my son, avenge the butcher's wife.
You know, lady, a suspicious number of your family members have died tragically. I'm starting to wonder if you're not involved here. What are those pictures in the background? I mean, the lady on the left looks feasible, but what's the dude on the right?
Just a Dracula. He's a Dracula.
He's a Dracula.
I know. They're like comedic.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot of them are like, what? You wouldn't see something like that in a Castlevania, I feel like. Like, maybe those, but the guy on the right looks like what do you call it?
Incel?
Yes, but like a
Yes.
Patreon supporter or something, you know?
Yeah, right.
And he probably is. I'm sure that's what it actually is they had Patreon supporters, and they're like, we'll get you in the game as like a
Yeah, that's a
portrait
good
on the
point.
wall
if
or
you donate
something.
like $1,000, you get to be in the game or something.
But the vampire? I don't think so. I think that's just
That's just,
Igarashi being like, whatever.
That's just the developers being funny.
It's Dracula. Yeah, sure.
That's totally. That's a Dracul.
I really miss having a dash. Well, I guess I could do this, but having an actual dash is great.
Oh, so last thing I'll say then, Buttigieg, I kind of hope it is him, just because, again, like, he's a good attack dog, but when it comes time to do the job, like, he's not going to have gaffes, he's not going to go do something, like, wildly unexpected or out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
He's just a rock solid, get the job done, principled kind of Democrat, and I think that's what's needed when you have, like, and don't get me wrong, Kamala's a square peg too, but at the same time, she's automatically going to be facing backlash for being a woman, which is totally unfair.
Oh yeah.
And it still sucks that we live in an age where you have to stabilize, finger quotes, a female candidate with a, white male candidate.
Yeah.
But for the time being, we do, and I think Buttigieg is about the best pick.
It's like, if you want the votes, yeah, you got to play the game a little bit. I get that. Shit, what's that?
But the nice
When
thing
you say
is,
wet
too,
blanket,
he would also be historic for the reason you mentioned, being gay. So he's subversive in a way. Sorry, go on.
No, I was like, what did I mention?
Oh, before
You're saying for the
you were
reasons I
talking about
mentioned.
like how they would take the low-hanging fruit and attack him
gotcha.
because he's gay. But I think even though he is another white male politician, just the fact that he's part of that community which has been underrepresented historically in American politics makes him subversive for a white male candidate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be here if you need me.
Oh.
And so we'd have a historic ticket all the way around with those two, and they're both eminently qualified for their jobs. They're not just being picked because they're a woman or because they're gay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone on the left that's been picked like that. In fact, the only person I can think of in modern history that was like, we're picking them just to be a token candidate was Sarah Palin. Sarah
Say that
Palin
again?
was definitely Sarah Palin.
Oh,
be like
yeah,
a token
yeah.
candidate,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just like-
that was a rare miss for McCain.
Yeah. I think McCain was listening to advisors a bit too much.
He was. In fact, did you ever read Game Changer?
Mm-mm.
It's a really good book, and you should check it out sometime because it gives a lot of really good introspection, even for modern races. It was all about the 2008 primaries and then presidential election. But for McCain, it was really interesting. The chapters that were told from his point of view were really fascinating because he really wanted Joe Lieberman to be his running mate. who's a
Yeah, that's
Democrat.
what people were expecting too.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
It's- and
honestly
which-
would have been kind of like the one way that he could have competed with Obama.
he could have gotten a lot of moderate votes.
Yeah,
He would have
absolutely.
swung some conservative leaning, and maybe not even conservative leaning, like people on the left. Yeah, I mean, I think Obama still would have won, but
I
it
do
wouldn't
too,
have been the
yeah.
blowout that it was.
But at the same
Yeah,
time,
it's-
at the very least, it would have been a much less offensive race than it ended up being.
Yeah, oh my gosh. It was Sarah Palin was such a...
Well, and she remains
I don't know.
just a
That's true.
dastardly presence in American politics. She's...
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing that I feel like doesn't get said enough about Trump and Palin and their ilk is that, whatever your political beliefs are, at a certain point, you have to look at their behavior and just be honest and say these are not good people.
No.
Right? Like these aren't people that I would trust with my property or my family's futures or anything like that. They're not motivated by goodness.
Wasn't the old adage like, I want to have a beer with this person when it came to like candidates?
Yeah.
And
right.
I think nowadays a lot of it is not that. It's, well, it can't be the other person because he's going to destroy the country. And so much of, what I see on the right as far as, and on the left too, it's fear-based like advertisements and rhetoric. It's just like, especially on the right, of course. Come on, like with Trump, they're staging this as the most important. What did you send me today? It's just like the most important
event in human history.
in human history.
Yeah, in the history of mankind. Yeah. That's how he's selling his campaign.
Like, can you play that up anymore? No.
Yeah.
And so it makes people, especially older people, like really fearful and like, holy shit. We're fighting for the soul of America, soul of the world.
And you heard George Lang, right?
Yeah.
Saying that if Trump doesn't win it, the only way that we can save this country is with another civil war. That's
second civil war, yeah.
That's fucking dangerous shit for a senator to say, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
and
he's not the first to say
for
it.
Him to resign.
Or maybe it's not the first time he said it. I'm trying to remember, but it's definitely. I feel like that rhetoric has been around.
Yeah, but I mean,
Trump,
I think it's the first time a senator has openly called for it.
Is it?
I mean, maybe like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I think, no, I don't know. I truly don't know, but it's making headlines, and yes, you're right, Sparks. It's super concerning. Because here's, and don't get me wrong, Lang, from the way that my dad described him, was a total asshole. But
by the way,
he's also, like, on MAGA standards, a pretty, milquetoast kind of guy. And he gets up and says that he's afraid that we're going to have another civil war. Well, what are you afraid of, Lang? Are you going to be on the front lines, bleeding for Trump? No. You're afraid that you're going to have to shed some blood of your constituents. That's what you're saying. You're making them afraid that if the Democrats win, we have no choice but to sacrifice our children so Trump can be president again. And that is just such a fucked up mentality for anyone to have, much less for a state senator to vocalize.
Yeah. Whoops.
I mean, how far have we gone that this is... And don't get me wrong, it seems like a lot of people did take him to task for that, and he issued a statement saying that's not actually what he believes. But you fucking said it, dude, so yeah, it kind of fucking is.
I feel like, even, like, I don't know who the current governor of Texas is, but the previous governor of Texas, God.
Oh, Abbott?
No, not, Abbott's currently the governor, right?
Oh, Abbott is the governor right now?
I think so.
I had hoped against hope that he got ousted somehow.
The previous one that like wore glasses sometimes to look smarter. I can't remember. I feel like he said something about like a call for civil war if Trump didn't win.
He called for secession.
Okay, maybe that was
I remember what you're talking
thing.
about.
Okay.
He wanted Texas to leave the nation, and it was super ironic because after that was the big winter storm, and they immediately started begging the government for money and relief, which Biden just, of course, provided.
Of course did. Wait, was that Abbott then?
I think that was Abbott. Because that was the same time that Ted Cruz fled Texas
to Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
Which Ted Cruz, anytime something bad is happening in Texas, he seems to be in Mexico. When it's like, oh, a storm's coming, let's go on vacation, kids. Like,
oh god, there's no bigger phony in Washington than Cruz, but he's
Ted
almost
Cruz,
kind of
man.
like a sigh of comedic relief by comparison to some of these guys.
He's the epitome of a sycophant. Like, it's just like, hey, your wife is a whore and you're a fucking dweeb. It's like, okay, Trump, thank you, sir.
I love you, Donald.
I love you, Trump. And yeah, he went against Trump. Like, so many of Trump's allies today went against him at first, and then they realize either they can't or there's something in it for them to...
Right, you gotta kiss the ring and suck the dick, right?
Yeah. And it is, like, really kind of funny to see. Like, especially from Ted Cruz, where it's just because of what Trump said, he looks like the ultimate cuck. But and not to like, because that is definitely
I know what you mean. But cuck the way that conservatives use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the funny thing too, because there was a moment in time where I almost respected Cruz, which was, after he dropped out of the primaries, they asked him, well, will you vote for Trump in November? And he didn't say he would. He said, I just urge everyone to vote their conscience. Mm-hmm. And for like a brief flicker of time, I was like, wow, Ted Cruz just did something commendable by saying that instead of saying vote for Trump. And like he's doing it at probably personal risk to his career and everything, but then a week later he came out and was like, no, what I meant to say was vote for Trump, you liberal cooks. And he's been, what we know him as ever since.
Really, yeah.
But yeah, in 2016 there was a brief moment where he was on the Never Trump boat, and that didn't last for really any conservatives, except for select few who are now either out or on their way out.
Yeah.
One weird thing out of all of this is I ended up having a lot of respect for Mitt Romney.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
of being like an actual moderate, sensible voice.
Yeah, like again, I didn't really know him from Adam when he ran against Obama. And there was like the, kind of unsavory story about him putting his dog on the roof of his car. And it was kind of like it was kind of a simpler time, really, because, that was a scandal that really shook up the presidential election in 2012.
Yeah, right?
But, you like look at footage from the debates, and both of them are like talking about how they admire each other and, pointing out like things that they agreed on in order to like keep things civil for the American populace. And that was only 12 years ago. I mean, that was 2 elections ago.
You remember when they would have the White House Correspondents' Dinner and both of the nominees would be there and rib each other?
Oh yeah, and it was done in good fun and good humor.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, that's where Trump started as a politician. Remember?
Yeah.
Because Obama took that jab at him. He said
thoughts like, oh, he could be a nominee. Ha ha ha. Not really.
Yeah, and he made that joke about Trump and said, in 2012, everyone thought you were just joking when you said you were running. And it cuts to Trump, and he's got that stupid ass
that sour
glare
look
on his face when he's not getting his way.
Like a child.
And that was really kind of the moment where people started to ask the question about him, and it's like, no, please don't. and at the time I was thinking, don't do that with any celebrity. Like why are we even entertaining movie stars and reality television stars as viable candidates, which is still my thought. But we've so far jumped that shark that it's not even worth bringing up anymore. Because like people used to say that all the time about Jon Stewart, and still do. And don't get me wrong, Jon Stewart's an intelligent man, but he's still not a career politician or civil servant. And he, by his own admission, he says that he shouldn't run because he has no political experience.
Yeah, he would never run because he's what do you call it?
He's too smart to run.
Yes.
Yeah, but
and I say these days, given what we have,
Colbert is much more satire.
Colbert is like, I mean, they're both
how
sharp
they
as
should
a
be on the
whip.
ticket. It's like, no, what they want you to do is put your critical thinking hat on and demand more from the candidates that are already out there, serving.
Yeah, although I will say, Stewart, him particularly, is very tempting just because there is very few people I know of that are just as smart as that man. Like, he is, in interviews, he is just so sharp.
Oh, yeah, he really, no one can out-debate him, which is...
So I get the appeal when it comes to, debates. And it doesn't matter who it would be. Like, he would tear them apart.
Yeah.
And he would look good doing it. People would laugh and be like,
absolutely.
oh my God. But I get what you mean, you know?
Well, it
He
sets
would
a
be
dangerous
someone-
precedent, but at this point, like, I really shouldn't talk about the precedent because it's just kind of pissing into the wind. We've already so far gone
fucked it
past
up
the
so
line
much.
of, you know, not letting celebrities be politicians, that it's not worth having that argument anymore.
Also, I mean, celebrities, but also just like not good people. Where literally this is the thing with Biden. If he was still gonna run, yeah, I'd probably still vote for him
Yeah.
because anything is better than fucking Trump. You know?
Yeah, right.
Having
And
no
this
one
is
in there.
probably, this is probably one of those areas where I just kind of need to get with the times, because for the most recognizable offices in the nation, it kind of has to be someone with a tremendous amount of brand recognition. So it, in a weird way, and I say this as an indictment of our country, it almost has to be a celebrity of some kind. Even if it's a political celebrity, they still have to be, you know, a household name before they ever even consider running for president.
Yeah. And that is an indictment. You're right. Like, it shouldn't have to be that way. Like, we should get to know people from primaries and from
from their
debates,
service
you know,
record. Yeah.
and that's not how it works. You
No,
know,
not at
and
all.
Which kind of goes to another problem as far as like money in politics. Yes, dark money, but I'm talking about just even the regular political system before
Mhm.
Citizens United. You just need to be a millionaire to run.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have
know?
to have the money to run. Like, people say that Jimmy Carter was our last, you know,
Everyman.
everyman president, because,
Yeah.
and that's true, because I mean, even Obama, who's you know, kind of still the best of the lot and the modern candidates, he had a very successful career as an author before entering the political sphere.
All right. Do I want the grinder or the arrow?
Heretical
Let's see.
grinder. Oh yeah. Oh God.
I mean, it's already pretty good at level 1. It hurts things very quickly.
I can tell it's designed to hurt.
True Arrow is not... I use True Arrow at the end of the game, but you need a lot more. I think, yeah, it's just 3 right now.
Oh, okay.
Once you level it up, like, if I keep getting the shards,
Do they become
it
heat-seeking?
increases... no, but there's 9 of them.
Oh, yeah, so
instead
they're
of
going to hit
3.
everything anyway.
They're gonna hit fucking everything.
They're going to hit the side of the screen that you aim it at.
So I'm gonna do the grinder for now.
Hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders. God, remember Adam Sandler?
He's still relevant, I'd
Yeah,
say.
he is. You know, fuck
Fine
it. If we're
healing item.
like
There
voting
you go.
politicians, I say Adam Sandler for president. Talk about
Like
an
I
everyman.
said, it could be a puppet, and I would be fine. It could be Adam Sandler. It could be Jon Stewart. It could be fucking Biden. You know. And if we got him in and then he died the next day, it'd be like, okay, well, this is still much better than Trump, and then we
Yeah,
just
right.
get Kamala anyway. You know.
You know the biggest problem? Vote Bill Nye. Oh, hell yeah, Bill Nye. He would be
Oh, Bill
terrific.
Nye. Oh my gosh. I saved, right? Yeah, we're good.
You know the biggest problem that I'm identifying as we're having this conversation is that all of the, you know, liberal guys and gals that you would want to actually run are too mature and have too good of a character to run. And
Exactly.
Isn't that just
Wouldn't.
sad? You know?
It's the kind of people you have very rarely the people like Bernie who
Yeah.
are good moral character and want to run.
Yep.
Most of the time, people who are like that don't want to be in the limelight, or they feel like the whole like absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to be in that position. You know, so yeah, most of the time the people who are best leaders don't want to
shit.
be leaders.
Zangetsu.
Ow, God.
But yeah, it's also kind of the thing that I was saying too, which is that they come from that place where, you know, I'm going to leave...
Fucking Akuma Dash.
Oh, shit. I'm going to leave
Oh, I'm dead.
leadership to the leaders,
I'm not.
right? Like, I can't be a leader because I've never run for a political office and I've only been on TV. What that doesn't qualify me. And they're
Yeah.
right, but at the same time, that argument doesn't hold water anymore. Like, these are the people that we do need to run. 1, because they have the moral compass, and 2, because they have the brand recognition to compete.
Yeah, for sure.
What they need to do, then, is you get a guy like Stewart or Colbert or Keanu Reeves or whoever, and they just need to surround themselves with, you know, the best minds in Washington to enact positive change. like, it sucks that that's the system we have, but you're right, we should play the game.
I need to slide under that shit.
So who knows, maybe, this time 8 years from now, when we finish the Harris presidency, I will be...
He just killed me.
Damn, he is kicking your ass.
107, come on.
So who knows, maybe in 8 years when we finish the Kamala Harris presidency, I will be saying, yeah, let's do the Stewart and Keanu Reeves ticket.
Oh, God, that'd be great.
Like I said, it would, because, again, these are just guys whose life goal is to make the world a better place, and that's what we need, whether they're politicians or not. But, that was kind of the funny thing, too, because you remember in 2008, right, when people on the right were criticizing Obama, it was largely because he was inexperienced and he didn't have enough political chops. Which is kind of silly to think about in today's setting. Like he'd only been a senator for 4 years. Oh, you still there, Max?
I'm still here.
Oh, you're
I'm
just trying not to die. You're just desperately trying not to die. Oh, God. That counter is devastating.
When he invites it, he also puts his sword up, so I gotta wait till he stops doing that.
Yeah, maybe don't try to hit him when he's waving his hand at you. When he's inviting
I waited
you
till
to
it was done. I was done with the waving. Then he was just still in counter position.
Like, hey, you should hit me. Okay.
You should hit. Alrighty.
I'll hit you.
Idiot. He's not expecting me to hit him.
He does seem to want me to hit him. It'd be rude not to. I don't want to look rude.
I got this. I got this time. Ow!
Damn. He did a quarter of your health with one knife.
No!
Oh, he did the thing. He missed. He whiffed.
He fucking missed.
He whiffed. That was amazing.
Ugh. Yeah.
He just winds up his counter and dead air.
Shit. Fucking Akuma
He's doing the thing.
shit.
He's doing the thing. Oh no, you hit him from the back.
Oh no! Oh god!
Oh god! He set his sword on fire.
Ugh, damn it!
You ever think about like the practicality of like actually setting a sword on fire? You're just gonna hurt yourself. Don't do it! Don't do it, Max! Don't fall for it. There you go. You might want to potion up. No, you're dead, and you're dead.
I'm gonna allow myself 2 potions, even though potions are easy to buy.
Yeah, I know after this boss fight we're at the end of the episode, and it's probably too late to introduce a totally new topic, but did I tell you that as I was updating my Anbernic the other day, I went to romhacking.net and discovered that for the GBA ports of like the Final Fantasy games and a whole bunch of other SNES ports, there's like a group of people who restored the original soundtracks and corrected the graphics, so they're like the best possible versions of these games you can get.
Wait, which versions? Which ROM versions are you talking about?
So like you have just the regular GBA ROMs, but you go to romhacking.net and you can patch them with the original music and graphics.
Oh, the GBA ROMs.
Yeah, so suddenly like the GBA version of like FF6 becomes like the definitive version because it has the Super NES music and sound effects and graphics, but it has the optional dungeons.
Yeah,
the GBA.
The extra stuff. Yeah. Just the SNES versions with the GBA extras.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is, which is really cool.
Yeah,
but they also did it with Link to the Past and Super Mario World, and so it's really cool because all of a sudden these ones that you have on your Anbernic are really attractive because they have like all the optional content and the original audio visuals.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. So I highly recommend taking like 5 minutes and just modding your GBA ROMs and putting them on your Anbernic because that's a really good way to play them.
I thought you told me before though that these had come out a little while ago.
Oh, did I?
Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it was like, oh, here's the graphic. For sure, the graphics at least. You told me.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Maybe
there
not
was
the
a
sound.
Castlevania They did a color patch so that they weren't so. They look more like Symphony of the Night.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It
But
wasn't
yeah,
Final Fantasy
it's the
then.
same site, ronhacking.net.
Gotcha. All right.
But yeah, so long story short, on top of everything else I'm doing, I just randomly started playing FF6 again.
Nice.
Even though I just played it like less than a year ago on the Pixel Remaster edition.
I'm like, is there an RPG I'm playing right now? Sort of. I'm playing Elden Ring. I just started that, like, actually, like, being serious about it.
Okay. Dude, put Xenogears on your Anbernick, I'm telling you.
I need to, seriously. That's what you
shot him.
get.
Come on, hit me. No, not with a bullet.
That's cheating.
You're cheating. That was stupid of you. Why'd you do that?
That was two, you idiot.
That's not what I meant. You're cheating.
Oh, God. I hate
Oh
that
my
hits
shit,
behind
get out of
him.
there.
I'm going to try one more time at
You can do
least.
this.
Because, one, that helmet really helps now that I took my luck.
Is there a faster melee weapon that you have? Or one with perhaps more reach?
There is. The,
Why not just
risky
equip a
blade
gun
is
and
not...
shoot him to death?
Because bullets are super weak. But I do like, because a lot of times I get people from behind me with this, so I actually do like great swords. And this one is just, like, more range than most great swords even. I think in this game, axes and great swords are just great swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, G-sword.
Okay.
Like, I
So
think,
it's the same
what was
weapon
it? Dawn of
type.
Sorrow were different weapon types.
Yeah.
Although they were
Or there's
similar.
like ones that differentiate between like smashing damage and slashing and piercing damage. This isn't one of those.
No.
You do seem to have his attack patterns down a little better now, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Getting there, you're getting there. He's already setting his sword on fire. Oh no! Nice.
Ow.
Just let your sperms,
Seriously. Let them do their work!
Oh shit. Potion, potion, potion!
I'll allow myself 3. Get away from me!
They're so cheap. Allow yourself all of them.
Yeah,
Hey.
boy!
Golf clap.
Cease this at once, Zangetsu.
Well done.
Oh, that's all that was needed.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we
jeez.
go.
How many times
He just
do I
opens
have
his
to
mouth
tell
and
you?
Mario's voice comes out.
Some of the demons
Mamma mia!
Mamma mia!
Bop and a boopy.
What is the difference?
Oh man.
Fucking, who is this guy? I know he does Spike Spiegel's voice and like a million other voices.
Oh really?
He's in everything.
In the
It's not
case
Yuri
of
Lowenthal, is it?
you are right. They coveted the powers of
'Cause
hell
yes, he
and
is.
must pay for it. But Miriam is not.
But he'll always
them.
be Cecil to
She
me.
is fighting for us.
DS Cecil?
DS Cecil.
DS and
He did a fine
and,
job with that one.
Really?
Yeah,
Though
but
it was.
he also did
correct.
Dissidia, right?
Yeah, correct. But shoot, I can't think of his name. But the guy who did Kane's voice and
Oh my god.
So
and
good.
Kaim from 13-2.
yeah,
Which, I
well
don't know
yeah,
if you
he's
played
been in like a
13-2.
billion things since. But he was also Nephlite in the Sailor Moon.
Oh, and the
retranslation.
newer version, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good too. Even though some of them, like Kane and Kaim, sound almost exactly the same. I don't
And so did
care.
Nephlite.
It's-
If you actually watched
Nephlite
an
did
episode
too.
of that, Nephlite in that version of Sailor Moon was exactly that same voice.
But I like this voice.
Yeah, I do too. Like he's perfect for like the stoic badass, right?
Yeah.
Like that should just be his whole resume. You know, I play the stoic badass. That's all you need from me.
Now, I know you start off as him in
I apologize for my
Bloodstained
acquaintance.
Curse of the Moon.
Yeah.
Is it the
8-bit
same
one.
with the second one as well?
I'm not sure
Or
if
do you
he's
start
the
off
star of the
as her,
second one. I
maybe?
can't remember. I think he is actually.
I want you to know
Okay.
that I trust you, Miriam, and nothing.
You know a voice
anyone
actor
says
who
could ever sway
you don't see
that
enough
trust.
of? Who was the guy who did Balthier?
You have my thanks. It's nice to know.
Oh,
that
I
you
have no
someone on
idea.
your side.
Like, what else has he done?
I don't know.
Zangetsu is a
Well,
demon
actually I do know. He
from a
was in.
land far
Weirdly
from
enough,
the east.
I played
Returned from a
Destiny
decade
2,
ago.
Yeah.
and he was a character in that game.
Oh, interesting.
But I haven't
okay.
heard him in too much else, which is a shame because again, talk about a sexy man voice.
I was about to like. I wonder how he sound because obviously 13.2, you're just gonna get the tin can effect. So it's like, okay, sexy Balthier in Destiny 2 without that. Although I don't know what kind of range he has.
It's the same exact voice.
Okay.
But again, you know, if you want like the suave, like gentlemanly, yeah, no, that he pulls it off very well.
I was looking at differences between 12 and 12 International Zodiac and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And along that way, is that a carpet or okay? I think it's a carpet. I was like, is this just all of our
It's either
blood?
red carpet or something.
No, it is blood right
that's
here.
blood. Someone was having a bad day.
No, this whole thing is just.
You may want to go save.
Yeah, carpet on that side and carpet on that side, but the
I mean, it was red
75% of
carpet
the middle
before.
is just
Now
blood.
it's just really red carpet. All right, we gotta next time on Play the Hits because I have to be up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, hey, this was a fun political talk show with 5 minutes of gaming.
Yeah, right. Alrighty. Yeah, next time maybe we'll get back to not Vampire
The
City.
penis jokes. Oh, hey, Sparks, you're still with us. Good night.
Good night, Sparks.
See you next time.
All right. Good night to you, dude, buddy. See you next time.